Someone gave me a baseball at an early age, and it was my companion for a long time. I carried it in my pocket. I slept with it under my pillow. I always wanted to pitch. That was the late, great Smokey Joe Williams.
Here I go, coming live again.
A 6'5" flamethrower from Seguin, Texas. When your nickname is Smokey and/or Cyclone, it probably means that you threw it pretty hard.
First, they stopped by the candy store, but then shot for a bag of treats.
It seemed that no single catcher could handle the heat that Smokey Joe brought up there. By the 5th inning, their hands were beaten up, and you would have to bring in your secondary catcher to catch Smokey Joe. Think about the rocket fuel of a Roger Clemens, combined with a little dash of Nolan Ryan and the control of Satchel Paige. And Smokey Joe was just that, a phenomenon. Like the late, great Bullet Rogan, Smokey Joe also pitched with a no-wind-up delivery. And with that no-wind-up delivery, that thing just exploded on the hitters. But Smokey Joe had the full repertoire of pitches to go with that blazing fastball. And so when you can get it up there in a hurry like he did, you've got to sit dead red. And then he could drop a changeup and have guys completely off balance. That was the brilliance of Smokey Joe Williams.
I'ma do all that I gotta do. Go back to my hood. They say that we proud of you.
Back outside, riding my whip and Rodeo Drive.
How impressive was Smokey Joe Williams? Not just against Negro League competition, but against Major League competition. How about a 20-7 record against white Major League teams? His first showdown was in 1912 when he shut out the world champion New York Giants 6-0. The second matchup was in 1915 when he struck out 10 Philadelphia Phillies while throwing a 3-hit shutout.
Let me state my case. Sprint out the race, no chase, I pace.
Joe's third extraordinary performance came in 1917 when he struck out 20 batters while no-hitting the New York Giants, although he lost the game 1-0 on an error.
Won't be no fire, I'm fresh like water.
Yeah, those are video game numbers, but those numbers are absolutely real. The legendary Ty Cobb, after seeing Williams do his thing, said that he was looking at a sure 30-game winner if he had been allowed to play in the major leagues. And Smokey Joe Williams was one of the best pitchers this game has ever seen.
You look rough, but I will not fold, impressing me. So watch my vision, see what I see.
On August 2nd, 1930, on a hot, humid night in Kansas City. Yes, I said night, because, as you know, it would be the Kansas City Monarchs who would pioneer night baseball in 1930, 5 years before the major leagues played under the lights. This featured an epic pitching duel between the legendary Smokey Joe Williams and the great Chet Brewer, and it did not let anyone down. The two combatants struck out 46 guys in that game. The incredible Smokey Joe Williams would strike out 27 Monarchs in 12 innings. Chet Brewer matched them pitch for pitch, but ultimately, Smokey Joe Williams came out victorious, winning that game 1-0 in one of the greatest pitching duels in baseball history.
Universe wrote my song, I'm just ad-libbing it. I don't gotta say too much.
If you want to draw a comparison to Smokey Joe Williams with, I guess you could say, a major league contemporary, think Randy Johnson. Now, I know Randy Johnson was a left-hander, but Smokey Joe was a right-handed version of Randy Johnson. And I'm still not sure that the Negro Leagues gets enough credit for its great pitchers. When we start to talk about hurlers like Bullet Rogan, Leon Day, the immortal Leroy Satchel Paige, I'm talking about some of the greatest arms to ever toe the rubber. In the minds of many, Smokey Joe Williams is arguably the greatest pitcher in black baseball history. in the twilight of Smokey Joe's career, while playing then for the Homestead Grays, Williams actually beat the immortal Leroy Satchel Paige 2 out of 3 games. Now, at that time, Satchel was 30 years younger than Smokey Joe Williams. Smokey Joe died in 1951, was posthumously inducted into the National Baseball Hall of Fame in 1999.